Hi everyone, welcome to Dropkick DiSKussions on Sportskeeda Wrestling. My name is Gary Cassidy, and with me today is the Block the Hate champion, Mr. No Days Off, WWE veteran, former Tag Team Champion, Darren Young, and now known as Fred Rosser. How are you today, Fred?
I'm doing great. WWE veteran is what I am. The word former is not in my vocabulary. I put in a lot of years with WWE before I got signed and after I got signed. So I am a veteran till the day I'm 6 feet under, baby.
Excellent, man. Thank you. First of all, I need to ask, I was actually incredibly naive while you were in WWE, and I thought your real name was Darren Young. Of course, now you perform under your real name of Fred Rosser. But I need to ask, where did the name Darren Young come from?
Darren Young actually was developed in Tampa, Florida, FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling at the time. That's where my performance center was before it moved to Orlando. It was Dusty Rhodes who was helping all the guys with promos and character development. So Dusty was the one that helped me come up with Darren Young. So I like to call myself, when I was with WWE, D Young, because it sounds more hip and stuff like that. But Darren Young was worked out with Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think it was a really kind of something that people could identify with. And just on that note, does it feel like, just in terms of representation, do you feel like should Darren Young have been able to be a bit more representative of the LGBTQ community in WWE, or do you feel like it was just kind of perfect the way it was? Like, do you wish you'd be able to have been more of Fred Rosser and less of Darren Young?
Well, for me, like, I've been out of WWE over 2 years now, so I can do one or two things. I can be like some old timers or some former WWE superstars, but I can be one of those guys that moans and upset over this, upset over that. But I'm very grateful for all my experiences with WWE. I'm very grateful for all the friends that I have made. When I came out, I was very fearful of the unknown, fearful of losing my job. But when guys like Randy Orton, Mark Henry, Big Show, Titus O'Neil, Sheamus, when those guys embrace you, CM Punk also, of all people, when they embrace you with open arms, it makes it that much easier for me to walk into a locker room. It makes it much easier for me to go out there and wow the crowd and perform. It was Mark Henry years ago before I came out. He kind of outed me a little bit because I had just came up onto the main roster for NXT 1, the original NXT. And at the time, I had this gold sequence around my hair, and my hair was spiky, and I felt like I was looking fly, flashy, fabulous. But Mark Henry in the locker room said, "Why do you got your hair like that, boy? It makes you look gay." And I was just like blown away. I said, "Oh, Mark, I'm just trying to look different. I'm trying to stand out." Fast forward to when I came out publicly. Like I said, he was one of the first guys to embrace me, and then he was like, "Boy, how come you didn't tell me? How come you didn't tell me?" I said, "Mark, man, I was fearful of the unknown, man." But like I said, I could listen, moan, and be, but that at this, but no, I had a great career with WWE. I didn't just come off the football field and get into a WWE ring. I grinded on the independents. I started September 11th, 2002, professional wrestling, 1 year after 9/11. And I grinded it out from 2002 to 2009 until I got signed May 4th, 2009, out of 75 guys and girls from all over the world. I beat them all out. The same day I got signed was the same day that AJ Lee got signed. So I'm very happy with the career that I had with WWE. So what I do now, what do I do now? I take my platform that I built with WWE, and I speak to schools. I I'm heavily involved with the community. I do so much work for the Covenant House here in California that deals with homeless youth. I deal with Athlete Ally, an organization that deals with athletes that are LGBTQ. You know, I'm involved in so much. You know, just recently, it might not be big to anyone else, but it was really big to me recently in South Beach, Miami, Florida. I recently received my biggest honor ever, the Vanguard Award, and the Key to the City, which is a confirmation of something I have done. And that motivates me to keep pushing a little harder. And I will continue to roll up my sleeves and keep advocating for social change, which is so important to me. Um, Recently at World Pride in New York City, the biggest pride ever, over 5 million people in New York City. And I teamed up with the Gay Officer Action League. And it was a celebration for me in the history books. So to be a part of over 5 million people in New York at World Pride representing the Gay Officers Action League was very, very special to me. Because it was special to me because I had my mom there, who's also gay, and we were representing like no other. And on top of that, on a bucket list of mine was be able to speak at uh, UCLA. So UCLA is a major university here in Southern California, and I was able to speak there. And I talked about what motivated me to start my Block the Hate movement, the challenges I faced, and the successes that inspired me to continue my work. So, you know, for me, there's no quick fix for equality. The quick fix is education and love. So there's so many things that I've been doing uh, since leaving WWE, so many honors that I've been receiving. But like I say, I'm 35 and I feel so alive. I make my 20s jealous of my 30s. So like I said, one monkey don't stop no show. So I gotta keep moving, keep hustling, and I tell everyone I'll see you at the finish line. Mr. No Days Off. Mr. No Days Off just isn't a nickname for me. I always stress that Mr. No Days Off is a nickname for male, female, boy, girl. It's for anybody. You take that nickname and you run with it. For me, Mr. No Days Off is just a way of life. It's constant grind, constant struggle, and loving life and keeping my head up.
Yeah, definitely, man. I actually saw those photos from Pride. It looked absolutely incredible. It looked a brilliant day. So it would be remiss of me not to mention, you've already mentioned there how brilliant your career was in WWE. Of course, from NXT and then the full Nexus movement, and you were in primetime players with Titus O'Neil, and then we last even saw you with Bob Backlund, which was surprising but made great TV. What was your personal highlight?
My personal highlight, of course, winning the Tag Team Championships with Titus O'Neil. Whether people can say, "Oh, I wish WWE would have done this with you or that with you better," I achieved my dreams by getting signed with WWE. I achieved my dreams by becoming Tag Team Champions with Titus O'Neil. I achieved my dream after teaming with Titus by teaming with Bob Backlund and him being my life coach. And what a lot of people don't know is they thought that Bob Backlund was paired with me. They thought it was the WWE writers that put the storyline together. It was actually me, because tag teams don't last forever. So I've done personal appearances with Bob Backlund. He's very energetic. I'm very energetic. He likes to stand during his autograph signings. I stand during my autograph signings. So I had in the back of my mind, when it's all said and done with Titus and I tag teaming, I have to say you've made it. You've made it when you've won some type of championship gold. But teaming with Bob Backlund, that was so much fun. And a lot of people think it was an idea that was just put together by the writing team, but it was actually my idea. I know tag teams don't last forever, and I've done appearances, signings, meet and greets with Bob Backlund, where he stands during his signings. I stand during my signing. He's energetic. I'm energetic. So I said to myself, when it's all said and done teaming with Titus O'Neil, I like to have Bob Backlund as my life coach because the I feel like the missing ingredient in all of professional wrestling are managers. You know, managers
Yeah.
are I feel were so fun and so important in the wrestling game. And I wanted to bring Bob Backlund along and just have him be my life coach. We're both strange bedfellows, very different personalities, but we were actually really good friends. And it was actually me who wrote down the ideas, had visuals, and I proposed it to Vince McMahon. And the most intimidating thing about Vince McMahon is his office door. Once you
Yeah.
get his office door, and you have a game plan, it's all gravy. So I proposed the idea. I actually took the idea from Mike Tyson and his former trainer, Cuss. They were both strange bedfellows, had a unorthodox relationship, but Mike's trainer really, loved them, and they both loved each other. So I took that idea and I proposed it to Vince McMahon, and he loved it. And he called up Bob Backlund personally and said, "Oh, would you be down to come back and manage Darren Young and do this Darren Young make Darren Young great again?" And he was down, and we ran with it, and it started to get some momentum going. And then, it's just unfortunate, the people that work under Vince McMahon didn't have my back.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is. But there's footage on my social media. There's footage on YouTube of make Darren Young get over, And my last big feud was with The Miz. And and when I first met The Miz back in maybe, years ago, even as an extra, and even when I got signed, when I first met The Miz, I thought he was so annoying. I thought he was so annoying, not only from the real world, but just being around him. And just fast forward to the end of my career with WWE and Miz being my last feud, he actually really, really helped me out. And he was actually, rooting for me to take the title from him. And of course, maybe the next day he would have won it back, or,
Yeah.
a week later or something like that. But it's all about give a dog a bone. Let me experience winning the Intercontinental Championship. But it's just unfortunate that people under Vince McMahon didn't have my back. I had a lot of fun with The Miz. He helped me out with the promo work that we did. He made me feel comfortable because Miz is one of the best at it. And for him to help me out and for him to, go to war for me to win the championship title will always be near and dear to me. Vince McMahon gave me many shots. He gave me shots teaming with Titus O'Neil because Titus and I were backstage, and Vince seen us backstage acting crazy, and he saw that this could be on TV, and he gave Titus and I an opportunity. He gave me an opportunity with Bob Backlund. So I'll never honestly have a bad word to say about Vince McMahon. It's just it still hurts sometimes that just people under him didn't have my back. But you can't win everyone over. And like I said, I'm not going to complain about anything. I'm gonna celebrate all of my successes.
Yeah, definitely, and I think there's been plenty of them. And looking forward, I'm just going to cut out a question I had there about Vince McMahon because you've covered it absolutely perfectly. Looking forward, I think you might have kind of mentioned it there with Miz. You had a lot of other memorable feuds, both in singles action and tag team action. But if you were to choose, you can have one dream match with any other wrestler on the planet. Who would you choose?
My dream match would have to be against the only Olympic gold medalist in WWE history, Kurt Angle. And, Shawn Michaels will always be my number one, no matter how he's treated me. But Kurt Angle is an amazing person inside of the ring and outside of the ring. I remember probably back in 2007, I was an extra with WWE, and Kurt was 2006, 2007, and Kurt was ringside. So me being an extra, I went up to him and I said, "Hey, Kurt, when you have an amateur background, Is it good to incorporate it in professional wrestling, what we do, the entertainment? He said anyone that has an amateur background, if they can sprinkle it into the sports entertainment world, that's a great thing. And I kind of knew the answer to that, but I wanted to hear it from him. And fast forward to me holding his Olympic gold medalist when he was having his feud with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Kurt was always nice to me as an extra. Kurt was always nice to me when he came back to WWE years later. It's like never meet your heroes because you might be disappointed. He's one guy that, you know, always treated me with respect, knew me by name. His intensity in the ring was something that I tried to mirror on the independents. And still to this day, he had so much intensity. He was explosive. He was real and funny. You know, the perfect combination: being real in the ring and being entertaining is something you honestly, you can't teach.
Which kind of leads on perfectly to my next question. You were the first ever openly gay WWE superstar, and to date, you're still the only openly gay male to ever perform in a WWE ring. How difficult was the decision for you to come out publicly, being that you would know you were the first ever person to do so?
Well, for me, there are many reasons why I ultimately came out to the world, but one of the main reasons I came out was because I found love. And my own happiness is more important than anything, even my career. I sacrificed my career and my childhood dreams so I can inspire others to be and accept themselves. So I came out because I wanted to ultimately bring my my partner. I hate using the word partner. I wanted to be able to bring my boyfriend to red carpet events. I wanted him to be able to experience what it's like backstage in the masculine world of professional wrestling. So I wanted him to be able to experience what I experienced and be proud to show him off to the world. And I did that. And I didn't realize that my story was a big deal when I came out until, of all people, the icon Cher reached out to me on social media and said, because of her hearing my story, one of her friends is a big wrestling fan. So she thanked me. And it was that minute I realized that my story was a big deal. And with my social media, I don't post for the thousands that are going to hate on my posts. I post for that one person that is inspired by what I post. So I always say my fight is much more bigger in the ring. It's outside of the ring, in all actuality, fighting bigotry and hatred and trying to be the voice of the voiceless when it comes to not only the LGBTQ community, but anyone that gets bullied for various reasons. That's why my whole Block the Hate movement is so near and dear to me, because in this world, we all receive hate for various reasons. But in order to be strong and successful, we have to block the hate. And especially in crazy times like this in the States and pretty much worldwide, we got to have each other's back. And it's easier to love than it is to hate. Hate is too big of a burden for me or anyone. So I love going and speaking to schools all over the world, sharing my story, giving some motivation, giving people hope out there that whether you see me on my social media or you see me on the big screen, you might identify with me and say, well, you know what? If Mr. No Days Off Fred Rosser can do it, then so can I.
Yeah, definitely, man. And of course, you're still wrestling just now on the independent circuit. The wrestling world, I think, is incredible everywhere right now. You've got the indies are thriving, WWE is thriving, AEW is not even there yet, and they're already thriving, and Impact is going through a great time. Might we ever see Fred Rosser in the ring in any of those three companies?
Well, never say never. Never say never. Like, I haven't retired at all. I still have a lot left in the tank. I still have a lot left to offer. This year, 2019, was spent doing so many other projects that I haven't wrestled this year. I've been doing so many speaking engagements, and I've been a part of a a few small roles out here in LA. So I have done no wrestling until the fall time. When the fall time comes, I've got a few dates coming up for quality promotions. So I try to focus on the quality over quantity. So like I said, I haven't retired. I've made it known to AEW that I have strong interest in AEW. I have strong interest in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I've wrestled all over the world, but I've never wrestled in Southeast Asia. So hopefully maybe with this interview, a lot of interviews I do, I always put it out there. Hopefully I can accomplish a bucket list of performing in Southeast Asia. So I'm working on that as we speak. Hopefully I can travel to Singapore Pro Wrestling in November to compete with them. But just from my social media, Twitter, Instagram, @RealFredRosser, you can see what's going to be going down on my stories, in my posts. You can see and get the 411 on what's going on with Mr. No Days Off Fred Rosser, formerly known as Darren Young. You can see what's going on in my life. But yeah, don't count me out. I always say just because moves aren't being announced doesn't mean moves aren't being made. So as we speak, I'm making connections, I'm emailing, I'm doing what I got to do to make moves. You know, that was Titus and I's theme song by Sugar Tongue Slim, making moves, making $1 million moves. And it's something that I preach every day. I might not be making $1 million moves. I always said for wrestling, if I would have done this for the money, I would have complained a long time ago. I do this for the love. I do this for the passion. I've wrestled in front of 20 people, 30 people with no shower and no toilet. I've traveled I've traveled 300 miles to a show and get paid $20, $25 to do a show. But you know what? I love entertainment. There's no better feeling for me than being under those big bright lights. Like I said, the likes of Sonny Kiss and Sonya Deville and Finn. I mean, Finn's a good friend of mine, but you know, Finn is also an ally who's representing the community. And a funny story, well, not really a funny story about Finn, but when I got released from WWE over 2 years ago, I wasn't really upset over it. Nothing lasts forever. I always say Michael Jordan can't play basketball forever. Not saying I'm Michael Jordan, but he can't perform forever. So when I got released, it is what it is. I was already living out in California because I wanted to get into some acting in commercials. But when I was released from WWE months later at WrestleMania, WWE had finally embraced the LGBTQ movement, but they did it on a straight guy, Finn. So when I seen that the next day, this was at WrestleMania. The next day, Monday, I was devastated, man. I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby because I had just got released, and then they're finally embracing the LGBTQ movement, but they're doing it with Finn. So it broke my heart. It broke my heart. You know, I'm a grown man, 35 years old, and I cried like a baby. But like I said, if it wasn't for me making that sacrifice, I don't think we would have been able to, fully embrace the LGBTQ movement. So, like I said, I'm not the first, I'm not the last, but I'm the one who came out publicly while still signed. So I want it to be a domino effect, whether people see me on TV or on my social media. I want them to say, well, if he can do it, so can I. And, social media is my open diary to the world. So there are people that say, oh, I need a break from social media. I need to get off social media. Well, you can look at social media one or two ways. You can use it to impact, motivate, and educate the people, or you can use it to shit on people. And I'm not going to use shit on people. My social media is an open diary to the world. So anything I ever post always comes from the heart with the intent to inspire, motivate, and educate the masses, not just the LGBTQ community, but the masses.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I think that leads on perfectly to my next question, which I believe you're an incredibly innovative person, not just for that, but also in the ring. I thought you had a very unique style, and now you're kind of bringing in a lot more inclusiveness, and you're making wrestling a more tolerant place, I think. We've got people in WWE that are doing that, like, Sonya Deville, and of course Finn Balor does it as well, and even in AEW there's the likes of Sonny Kiss. Do you feel like you've got a duty to raise awareness and fight prejudice?
Well, for me, I'm not the first and I'm not the last. I am the first openly gay WWE superstar. So I always say we need more representation out there. We need more out athletes speaking up and speaking out, and making it easier for people to just live their truth and follow their dreams and not allow the opinions of others to derail them on their journey to greatness. For me, being the first openly gay wrestler, being the first in anything, honestly, is a big deal. But for me, being the first, I've encouraged other athletes that, really they have a duty to instill confidence in our youth and to lead by example. Also, by being the first, I've encouraged wrestling fans all over the world to go after their dreams and keep the head up and never have their head down. Always keep the head up, and you get knocked down 8 times, you get back up 9 times. So I don't play the victim. I'm a fighter, and I'm gonna keep fighting until I'm 6 feet under.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I've got one last question. I like to end on something, I like to say a controversial question, but it's really not. It's just a little one to divide everyone, because that's always great fun since we've been speaking so much about inclusion. So yeah, one final question. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I'm sorry, say that again?
So my one final question, just because we've been speaking about inclusion, this is one to divide everyone. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
What, plain, wait, I didn't get that. Plain apple on pizza?
No, pineapple, sorry. Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, Hawaiian pizza?
Yeah. Do you agree that it should be on it or not?
Pineapple
Yeah.
on pizza?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't like to mix the my sweets and savory stuff. I don't like mixing my salts with my sugars. So yeah, I would say no pineapple on pizza.
Definitely no, man. Excellent. Thank you.
Give me pepperoni. Give me pepperoni. Pepperoni. Domino's pizza is my favorite pizza.
Man, I can get behind that. Domino's pepperoni is great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, thank you. And please follow me, Twitter, Instagram, my social media, at Real Fred Rosser, my government name. Join the Block Date movement that's running wild in the city near you. I always say none of us are as strong as all of us. So, the Block the Hate shirts that are available on blockdate.com, those shirts are just a byproduct,
Yeah.
The point of me is to spread love and spread my Block Date movement, because strength in numbers is so important. So, like I said, I don't post for the thousands that might hate. I post for the one person that's inspired. And like I said, don't die with the story, and you tell it. So definitely follow my journey. And if you don't have anyone in your family that supports you, be a part of my family on social media. So the holidays are coming around. People don't have that support. Be a part of my family on social media.
Yeah, man, I love that.